Everyone thought he was a weird loser, but he turns out to be the strongest fighter in high school. Sakura Haruka has a weird hair color and different color eyes. Because of this, he has been discriminated against and feared by everyone. However, no one could dare to bully him because he is extremely good at fighting. He loves the strong and has no interest whatsoever in the weak, but the weak who pretend to be strong disgust him. Fed up with the constant hate he receives, he decides to change schools and goes to another town. He takes admission in the Furin High School, notorious for having the strongest fighters in all of Japan, and aims to reach the top there. On his first day in the new town, he takes a leisurely walk when he spots a gang of troublemakers that have cornered a girl. They ask her to let the gang hang out at the G-spot, but the girl is a Sigma female and tells them to piss off before trying to leave. The gang leader tightly grabs her hand and suddenly feels a light tap on his shoulder. He turns around to find Sakura and tries attacking him without warning to assert dominance. Sakura effortlessly dodges his fist and then whoops his ass along with his entire gang. He stands on top of the gang leader, saying that he must have a single-digit ick to think that he is a strong person. He leaves for school after this, and the girl whom he just saved runs towards him to thank him. Sakura's delusional ass asks her if she is talking to him. He has had no all his life, and it shows as he turns red and says that he didn't do it to save her or anything. The girl takes him to a restaurant her family runs to thank him. She introduces herself as Kadoha Takebana and learns that Sakura is out of town. She explains that until recently, their town was always chaotic because of the turf wars between various gangs, making it unsafe so no one usually comes here. She then remarks that Sakura looks really weird with his two colored hairs and eyes, but in a good way. He is startled and backs away because everyone else he met called him a hideous creature. Sakura then tells FC that he came to Furin High School to become the strongest fighter here and rule over them. She remarks that he has quite lofty ambitions and starts teasing him, asking if he is so excited about Furin that he wore his school uniform today even when school starts tomorrow. Sakura gets embarrassed and replies that he just doesn't have other clothes because he just moved here. Suddenly, an old customer leaves the restaurant and FC goes out of the kitchen to see him off. Before he can leave, Sakura gives him a bag he forgot, and the old man thanks him. Kotoha rewards Sakura with some candy for his good deeds, and he turns red yet again, saying that this entire town is nuts. He can't believe that people in this town can thank him, despite seeing his looks and the Furin uniform. Kotoha realizes his trust issues run deep and decides to give him a fair warning. She tells him that he did the right thing by coming to Furin, but the way he is right now, he can never reach the top. Sakura is enraged at this and yells that he is really strong. Kotoha says that she doesn't doubt that, but the reason he can't reach the top is because he is alone. Sakura angrily walks away, telling Kotoha that he doesn't need anyone by his side to win, but she just tells him to meet the Furin kids once to learn the truth. Sakura is still busy thinking about her words when he runs into the man he thrashed earlier in the morning. This time, he has brought his entire gang with him for round 2. Sakura ignores him and walks ahead, but the douchebag stops him and asks him which character he is cosplaying with his colored hair and eyes. He realizes that it is Sakura's natural hair color and calls it creepy. This brings a smile to Sakura's face because this is the type of reaction he is used to, because that justifies his urge to fight and prove that he is better than everyone in at least one thing. He takes all of his rage out on the douchebag and punches his nose in while thinking about all his haters. Sakura rushes towards the crowd and takes one boy down with a kick before using him as a platform to jump high and knock another boy down. He keeps hitting the gang members while dodging their attacks, knocking them out with one hit. The remaining boys decide to attack him all at once, but even that is of no use. Sakura easily blocks their hits and knocks them out of their senses with one punch each. One boy grabs him from behind, so he beats him down using his elbows before finishing off the others. Punches, kicks, headbutts, everything goes in their fight, and soon some of the gang members start running away. Kotoha can hear the commotion from her shop, so she goes to check it out, but one of the gangsters takes her hostage. He tells Sakura to surrender because Furin students usually give up when the town people are in danger, but Sakura doesn't care. He rushes towards the man and knocks him out with a kick before he can hurt Kotoha. Sakura says that only sisses bring knives to a fist fight. One boy tries attacking him from behind, but Sakura easily reads his movements and sends his face slamming into the wall with a powerful kick. Everyone rushes towards him again, but the result is the same old, same old. Sakura hits them down like they are practice dummies, but still gets back to a corner because he needs to protect Kotoha. He wonders why he is even protecting her because nothing good comes out of helping others. As he is busy fighting, one of the fallen boys grabs the knife and slashes his leg, giving his friend a chance to attack Sakura with a steel baseball bat. He moves back to dodge the first attack and gets ready to brace for the next hit to his head, but the baseball bat doesn't hit him. Sakura opens his eyes to see a tall and muscular man wearing the Furin uniform in front of him. He then grabs the baseball bat and knocks out its handler with his elbow. More Furin students arrive there to back him up, and he twists the baseball bat from the middle, telling the gang members that weapons are not allowed in the neighborhood. The gang members recognize the big guy as Hiragi and they want to back out, but one of them says that they are just 4 people and commands everyone to attack. Hiragi calls out to his 3 underlings, telling them not to let even a single thug escape. The Mohawk guy lifts and slams people like he is practicing judo with kids. The headphone boy shows his acrobatic skills to dodge people, while the boring-looking guy uses some regular boxing moves. Sakura can only watch as the 4 guys thrash the gang, and one boy attacks him. He finds it hard to defend himself because of the injured leg, but Hiragi arrives there and kicks the attacker away. He tells Sakura to stay back if he is injured, and he yells that all these people are his prey. Hiragi doesn't care and knocks the shit out of another attacker with a kick, and Sakura can only watch dumbfounded. Suddenly, the town people start cheering on the Furin students, and Sakura wonders what the hell is happening. Kotoha reminds him that she said that this town used to be unsafe because of gang wars, but it changed 2 years ago when Furin took charge of the area. The first thing they did was put a notice on the edge of the neighborhood declaring that anyone who causes trouble here will be purged. The people began to grow fond of their saviors, so they gave them a nickname and called them Bafurin, the Windbreaker. Sakura can't believe that despite their violent looks and acts, the students are being treated like heroes of justice. What comes as a greater shock is that the people start treating him like a hero too. His tiny brain can't handle it anymore, and he tells them to leave him alone. Kotoha sits down in front of him to help an old lady give him first aid. She tells Sakura that he might be alone right now, but the people here will come to need him, and he yells that he doesn't care about that. Kotoha asks him why he helped the old man at her shop then. She asks Sakura to look ahead, and he finds everyone looking at him proudly. Sakura gets emotional and feels unable to look her in the eye, but then he suddenly starts running towards the crowd gathered at a distance. He yells that it is ridiculous that delinquents are playing heroes, but as he jumps over everyone, he says that it is equally awesome too. He crosses the crowd of people and kicks the leader of the attackers, who is sneaking behind Hiragi with a knife. The man is sent flying, and as Sakura lands on his feet, he thinks that maybe in this place, even someone like him can be loved. With that, the story of a loser who becomes the hero of a town starts. The next day, Sakura visits Kotoha's cafe in a very foul mood because an old granny is using him as her personal ride. The old lady strikes a Spider-Man pose as she jumps down from her back, pissing off Sakura even more because earlier she said she couldn't even walk properly. The old lady simply thanks him for carrying her here, and he turns red with embarrassment. He starts leaving, but Kotoha stops him and offers him some free sandwiches, while teasing him that he must be really pumped up to start his high school life in Furin. Just then, another Furin student enters the cafe, but he trips at the doorway and lands face first. The boy named Nairi tries to show off his new fit to Kotoha, but Sakura tells him that his shirt still has the tag on it. He can't believe that such clumsy and silly guys are in Furin too, and Kotoha informs him that they are going to be in the same grade. Nairi asks Sakura if he came here from another town, and then suddenly remarks that his eyes and hair are strange. Sakura is ready to throw hands if he says another bad thing about him, but Nairi just pities him because he thinks that his hair turned white because of stress. Sakura is dumbfounded, and after Kotoha is done laughing at him, she introduces the two boys. Nairi takes out his diary, in which he keeps a record of every cool guy in Furin. He asks Sakura why an outsider like him is trying to join the school that protects the town. Sakura simply eats his sandwich and says that he is here to reach the top. Nairi tells him that it is not possible, and if he does that, he will go bald from stress. Sakura is flustered and wants to take things outside immediately, but then Nairi looks at the clock and panics, saying that he is late for town patrol. He is proud that from today on he is going to be a hero of justice, but hits his head on the door before heading out. Sakura is pissed off at a klutz like him trying to get into a school of fighters. He says that people like him who only care about style chicken out in fights. Kotoha replies that things are not always what they seem. She tells Sakura that he is free to think about what he wants, but it is too soon to make assumptions about others, and he should take his time to evaluate people. Sakura leaves her cafe, still thinking about her words, when a baker suddenly offers him some freshly baked bread and cookies to try. He is taken aback, and the baker explains that Furin students are always helping them out, so they can do at least this to repay them. On top of that, they are grateful for him taking care of the gang yesterday. Sakura turns red with embarrassment and says that he is not hungry, so the baker packs the bread and gives it to him as his lunch. Soon, every other shopkeeper in the area offers him free food as thanks, and as Sakura walks home with his arms full of bags, he wonders what kind of situation this is. Suddenly, a girl screams nearby, and the startled Sakura throws his bags in the air. The girl immediately clings to him, asking him to help her. In an alley nearby, Nairi is getting thrashed by a bunch of boys because he stopped them from pestering a girl. The leader of the boys taunts him, saying that Furin students like him can pretend to be the guardian of the town, but in fact, he is the one who needs protecting. He starts walking away, but Nairi tackles him, saying that anyone who causes harm and destruction or comes here with bad intentions will be purged by Furin. Everyone laughs at him, and the leader hits Nairi, telling him to get the hell away from him. He is about to deal a heavy blow to him when, suddenly, Sakura arrives there and sends him flying with a kick. The boys attack him, and Nairi screams that Sakura can't defeat them. Well, he defeats them all in the blink of an eye, and Nairi is terrified of him now. Sakura walks away, and Nairi thanks him, adding that he must be disappointed to see someone so weak in Furin. Sakura simply replies that he was not here to save him anyway and asks him to be aware of his position now. Nairi begins reciting his life story about how he was always bullied in middle school, and one day, a Furin student saved him. From that moment on, he wanted to be like him too. He starts crying, saying that he joined Furin to be strong and awesome, but he is just a pathetic loser in the end. Sakura thinks about his first opinion of Nairi and how he proved him wrong. He tells the crybaby that he might be weak, but he is not lame at all. Just then, the girl from earlier comes to Nairi and thanks him for saving her from those molesters, and he starts crying again. She thanks Sakura too, and he flushes red before walking away. Nairi suddenly stops him and pulls out his diary about the cool guys of Furin. He eagerly asks Sakura about his details so that he can include them in his diary, and even gets touchy-feely, making him embarrassed enough to hit him. He starts walking away, but Nairi has decided to follow him for the rest of his life. He tells Sakura that he may not be of any help in fights, but he can still show him around town and tell him everything he knows to reach the top. Nairi drags him along to the Furin High, which is covered in graffiti and stickers. They find the class roster, and Nairi is overjoyed to find that he is in the same class as Sakura. There are some more cool guys in the class, but then Nairi reads a name that makes him sweat like crazy. He immediately loses all his cheerfulness because there is someone in their class that he never wanted to encounter. As they reach their classroom, he requests Sakura to be friendly to everyone in the class and show them that he is not dangerous. Sakura is pissed by this suggestion, but Nairi says that since Furin students are defenders of the town, they will be hostile towards him since he is an outsider. That is why he wants him to not make any enemies. Sakura doesn't hear a single word of that, and starts stretching in case he needs to fight right as he enters the classroom. He says that it doesn't matter even if the entire school turns against him, because he is here to fight his way to the top anyway. He opens the door to find that everyone in the class is a certified delinquent. While Nairi freaks out on seeing their stares, Sakura is pleased by the quality of people there. Suddenly, a boy with an eye patch approaches him, and while Sakura gets ready to fight, Nairi stops him and apologizes on his behalf. From the eye patch, he knows that the boy is Suo, one of the strongest people in first year. However, it turns out that Suo has Delulu fever, and he thinks that he is Leonardo DiCaprio, and a Chinese spirit is sealed in his eye patch. Sakura thinks that he is an idiot, and as Suo approaches him, he gets ready to fight again. However, Suo just pats his back, while saying that he is the hero who stopped the brawl yesterday. Everyone has heard about that, and they are really curious to see what kind of person Sakura is. They are unexpectedly friendly towards him, and Sakura freezes as everyone circles him. While the situation is unexpected, Nairi is glad that at least Sakura didn't make any enemies. However, when someone asks him why he came to this school when he doesn't belong to this town, Sakura clearly tells everyone that he is here for the top spot. Everyone falls silent on hearing this, and while Nairi tries to distract them, all the strong people in the class have already noticed their new rival. As Nairi lectures Sakura about being reckless, a table whizzes past them. Everyone looks towards the door and finds a tall and menacing guy with long hair. Nairi begs Sakura to not pick a fight with this guy out of all people, because he is Kyotaro, the most dangerous person in first year. Everyone immediately gets aside, but Sakura smiles, saying that he likes mad dogs like him. Kyotaro immediately rushes to attack him, and manages to crush only a table as everyone dodges. Sakura stands up to Kyotaro and says that this is what he expected of Furin High. As Sakura and Kyotaro glare at each other, the rest of the students silently watch them. Suo tells Sakura that he messed up by declaring that he was here to become the top fighter in front of Kyotaro. Suddenly, Kyotaro attacks him furiously, and Sakura swiftly dodges his punch. Kyotaro keeps launching punches and kicks with ferocity, and Sakura finds it increasingly difficult to dodge all of them. Meanwhile, Suo gives background commentary. He states that Kyotaro has been visiting Furin ever since he was in middle school, and because of his passion and skill, he was recognized as a member of Bafurin even before starting school. On top of that, he is so loyal to the current leader of Furin that he cannot tolerate anyone trying to overthrow him. Kyotaro tries to knock Sakura down with a sweeping kick, but he dodges it at the last moment. Kyotaro pushes him back, and Sakura slips, allowing him to dodge Kyotaro's powerful punch. Sakura uses this chance to land a crushing kick to his jaw, much to everyone's surprise. As Kyotaro wipes his nosebleed, Sakura taunts him, calling him a fanatic of the current leader. He declares that a person like him can't even think for himself and has no chance to beat him in a fight. They are about to resume their fight when suddenly the public announcement system starts blaring, and two confused dunce heads are heard trying to figure out the controls. Sakura and Kyotaro stop fighting because of that, and then suddenly, a loud and resounding voice welcomes everyone to Furin. Sakura is not happy to be interrupted just as things were getting good, and he challenges Kyotaro to return to the fight. However, not only Kyotaro, but everyone in the class is standing attentively before the loudspeaker, and Sakura wonders who the hell is talking from the other side. It turns out that the person addressing everyone is Bafurin's Supremo, Hajime. Just hearing his name turns Sakura on, and he wants to fight him immediately. However, Hajime seems to be a klutz who forgot what he came to say to everyone, leaving Sakura dumbfounded. He suddenly remembers that he just wanted to tell the boys to enjoy their youth and make as many exciting memories as they can. While everyone else gets confused, Kyotaro nods like he is hearing some high-level TED Talks. As Hajime says he wishes there would be no fights on the first day, Kyotaro wipes the blood off his face to act innocent. Finally, Hajime comes to the main thing and tells everyone to protect the town. He tells them that, as Bafurin, it is their duty to protect people, property, feelings, and everything important, because that is the school's only rule. Everyone yells to register their affirmation, and Sakura feels the aura the words of the Bafurin leader carry. He wonders if Hajime carries this much influence only because he is a strong fighter, and now he is even more curious about him. Suddenly, Suo approaches Sakura and Kyotaro, asking them to mend things with a handshake. Sakura refuses to shake hands with Kyotaro, claiming that he started the fight, and it is not even over yet. Suo replies that if he is aiming to reach the top, such small fights should be something he forgets over effortlessly. He even blackmails Kyotaro, asking him what Hajime would say if he learned that his loyal follower threw hands at a classmate first. After hearing that, Kyotaro stretches his hand out first, and Sakura wonders if he really means it. Nairi eggs him on to shake his hand, but Sakura is uncomfortable because he is not used to touching people outside of fights. He walks towards Kyotaro, and they shake hands, but it doesn't seem that either of them has given up on their fight. They try to squeeze each other's hands to assert dominance and find that they are equally strong. Suddenly, the boys in the class tackle Sakura, and while he is angry at them, they are just trying to show how proud they are of him for landing a hit on Kyotaro. Sakura is taken aback by their positive reaction and thinks that everyone in this town has treated his fighting skills as something good. He decides to stop holding himself back every time and gets frank with the boys. As they are horsing around, a senior comes running to their class and tells them that it is time to go outside. Sakura asks him who the hell he is and why they should go out, and he soon learns the answers. The senior lectures them for being too slow to come to the school grounds. Once they reach the ground, they find that Hiragi was keeping track of their time until the last millisecond. Sakura remembers him as the man who ended the fight the other day. Nairi asks him if they have met, and Sakura says that he saw him when he saved the girl from the cafe. Nairi mentions Katawa's name, which immediately triggers Hiragi into action, and he furiously grabs Sakura's mouth and dashes away with him. He throws Sakura to the ground and lectures him, saying that he told him not to mention that Katawa was at the fight scene to anyone. Sakura shouts back at him for being so hyper without reason, and Hiragi tells him that if news gets out about Katawa being in danger, it would be a huge pain in their asses. He starts searching his pocket while warning Sakura about mentioning the girl's name again. Sakura thinks that he is going to pull out a weapon, but Hiragi just takes out some antacid pills because of his stomachache. Sakura is dumbfounded, and as he returns back to his class, Nairi asks him more about his conversation with Hiragi. He replies that it was nothing serious, but claims that Hiragi is an idiot who can stress himself into a stomachache and then pop a pill to cure it. Nairi immediately notes it down in his diary as he tells Sakura that Hiragi is one of the 4 kings of Boffurin. He explains the hierarchy of power, stating that Hajime sits at the top and that there are 4 kings under him. The 4 kings act as captains for a given set of classes, and Hiragi is the captain of their squad, which is named the Taman Squad. Hiragi then tells everyone to get into groups of 4 or 5 students and assigns a senior to every group to take them out to patrol the town. He himself leads the group containing Sakura, Nairi, Sue, and Kyotaro. Sakura is not happy to be in the same group as Kyotaro, but Hiragi reveals that Hajime has asked him to keep a close eye on the 2 of them. He has heard that they have already fought and tells them to walk on opposite sides of the road. Soon, Sakura gets bored of walking around the town and says that if they are on a patrol, they should get to beat up some intruders. Hiragi tells him that they are the defense force of the town and not the offense force. He claims that just by walking around in their uniforms, they can scare most of the small gangs away, which is their way of maintaining peace. Hiragi then spots an old lady climbing on a ladder and immediately runs to her side to help her. Sakura wonders what is happening, but within a few minutes, he and his friends are being made to help a shopkeeper paint over graffiti on his store's walls. While Sakura doesn't understand the meaning of it, Nairi says that it is part of their duties as the Boffurin. As a reward, the shopkeeper gives them freshly fried fish. As everyone walks away while eating the fish, Hiragi tells Sakura that he used to be like him too in the past. He also used to find everything other than fighting boring, but now he finds mingling with people and helping them quite fun too. They walk all over the town and come to a halt at a railway bridge. Sakura notices a logo shaped like a dog on the wall and remarks that it is one ugly dog. Nairi panics upon hearing them and tells Sakura to be mindful of his words because, right now, they are at the border between their territory and that of another school. Nairi tells Sakura that he must definitely not go across the tracks to cause trouble, because the other school runs on a completely different set of rules. He reveals that the team that rules the other side is called Lion's Head, and they believe that strength is everything. Sakura just smirks at hearing that, because it was exactly his thing. As they are about to head back, they find a beaten-up boy running towards them, and Hiragi recognizes from his uniform that he is a middle schooler from their side. He knows that the boy messed up by going into Lion's Head territory and tells him to hurry to this side. Following the boys are some students from Lion's Head, and Hiragi realizes that they will catch the boy before he can cross the tracks. The poor boy trips on top of that, but before the attackers can catch him, their leader is knocked out by Sakura and Kyotaro. Hiragi and others are shocked to see this because they know it is going to be troublesome. They are on the same page this time and say that if someone attacks one of their students, they will protect them. The two guys from Lion's Head start making fun of their leader, who just knocked out, when suddenly, the sound of wooden sandals silences them into submission. They fall silent as one of the top dogs at Lion's Head arrives there, and even Hiragi is worried now because the man in front of them is Togame, the second in command at Lion's Head. Togame is quite lazy and laid back and casually checks out the student who is knocked out. Hiragi comes forth to talk and explains things to him, which makes Togame interested in the two boys who jump to fight. His aura is intimidating, and Sakura realizes that he is quite strong. Just then, the knocked-up boy awakens and starts shouting at Sakura and Kyotaro, asking how dare they enter their turf and attack them. However, Togame smashes a glass bottle on his head before grabbing him by his hair. He tells the loser that he has no right to talk big after getting beaten unconscious with just a kick. He starts pummeling the shit out of him, telling him that a loser like him doesn't deserve to be so proud. Hiragi tells Togame to stop, asking if he has no compassion for members of his team. Togame simply pulls away the loser's jacket, saying that weaklings like him have no place in Lion's Head. Sakura suddenly speaks up, calling them a lame bunch who pretend to be strong by beating up the weak. He walks up to Togame and calls him disappointing, but the lazy guy doesn't mind that. Instead, he is more curious about Sakura's hairdo and tells him that he talks too fast, which is the most annoying thing about him. Togame declares that he has memorized Sakura's face now, and he will beat him in a proper place and time. The Lion's Head team leaves with that, and Nairi immediately charges at Sakura and Kyotaro, asking what they were thinking before jumping to action. Sue tries to calm him down, while Hiragi is popping stomach ache pills in the corner. Nairi still shouts at Sakura for angering Togame, but Hiragi says that even if he didn't do anything, Togame wouldn't have let it slide. He says that what is done, and then apologizes for not taking action before anyone else. They decide to return to school and take even the middle schooler with them to report to Hajime. Hiragi keeps getting more nervous as they approach Hajime's hideout, and Sakura wonders if he is really such a scary guy. They open the door to the rooftop and find Hajime, the top dog of Furin, growing veggies there. He has a full living setup there and excitedly shows off the vegetables he has grown to everyone. Watching him, Sakura cannot believe that such an easygoing guy can be the strongest person in Furin. Hiragi tries telling him that they may get into trouble with Lion's Head. However, Hajime cuts him off mid-sentence and asks what he thinks about growing some red chilies in the empty pots. Everyone is confused because the two of them are not on the same page, and the dumbfounded Sakura asks if that goofy guy is really Hajime. Kyotaro grabs his collar and asks him to add Sir before taking Hajime's name, but as soon as Hajime notices them, he lets go of his collar. They sit around a table, and Hajime proudly shows everyone the veggies he has grown himself, but no one is really interested except Kyotaro. Sakura complains that they all look like grass anyway, making Kyotaro angry. Hajime tells him to look closely, and Sakura wonders how such a goofy person can be respected as Furin's Supremo. Suddenly, the middle schooler at the center of the problem rises up from his seat and asks Hajime to let him explain everything about the incident. He is almost in tears as he explains that he spotted a shoplifter stealing something from a store and chased him all the way into Lion's Head territory without realizing it. There, he thought he was about to get his bones broken, but Sakura and Kyotaro saved his life. He starts crying and apologizes for starting a clash between Furin and Lion's Head. But then Hajime calls the boy Sasaki by his name and thanks him. He says that it is not his fault if a war starts between schools, because at the end, he was just trying to protect the town from evildoers. He smiles as he tells the boy that he should leave the rest to his elder brothers, and Sasaki is moved. Hajime then asks him how the two boys saved him, and Sasaki reveals that they kicked away the attacker. He laughs loudly upon hearing this, much to everyone else's astonishment. Hiragi apologizes for not taking action instead of them, and Hajime tells him that he shouldn't take all the burden on himself. Nairi speaks out of turn and says that it was still Sakura's fault for making things worse, and Hajime curiously asks him how he did it. Sakura stands up and says that the Lion's Head guys were talking about being powerful, but they were beating up weaklings, so he called them lame. Everyone is stunned speechless by that, but Hajime just gets up and pats Sakura's head, telling him that he did well, and agrees that Lion's head is getting lamer recently. He then thanks Sakura for fighting against the thugs yesterday and saving Sasaki today. He calls him a reliable younger brother who is helping to protect the family. Sakura suddenly feels his guard relaxing around Hajime, and finally understands that everyone is drawn to him because he makes them feel safe. He is also feeling the same thing, but he slaps away his hand, saying that he is not his elder brother. Suddenly, Hiragi gets a call from his friend, who cuts the phone without saying anything. Immediately after that, someone enters the school grounds while using a loudspeaker to address everyone. The boy wearing a lion's head jacket drags along an injured Furin student. He declares that he is Choji, the leader of the Lion's Head, and challenges Hajime to come out and fight him. While Nairi panics on hearing that, Sakura is thrilled because the guy in front of him is even stronger than Tage. Suddenly, he feels a fire burning behind him and turns around to find that Hajime is heading out to fight. Sakura instinctively follows him, and so do Kyotaro and Suo, followed by Sasaki and Nairi. They reach the ground, where Hajime tells everyone to stay behind. Sakura yells to let him fight, but Hajime orders him to stay where he is. His words work like magic, and Sakura feels that he can't even move his feet. Hiragi approaches Choji and tells him to return their student, but all Choji asks him is if he is mad at him. He drops the injured boy and then approaches Hajime, asking him for a one-on-one battle. He claims that since their side broke the rules first, it is enough reason to start a fight. He circles around Hajime, asking him to fight him, but he doesn't want it. He tells Choji that even though his guys started the fight first, he has already done a fair share of damage in the form of all the students he has knocked out. Hajime tells Choji to call it even, but he is not satisfied. He runs towards Hajime at full speed and hits him with a high kick. However, Hajime blocks it, and Choji backs away, taunting him to come at him now. Hajime asks him why in hell he is so eager to fight, and Choji replies that he doesn't want to fight. Rather, he wants Hajime. Everyone is shocked by his answer, but Choji explains that ever since he became the Lion's Head leader, his life has gotten boring, but Hajime appears to have fun every day. That is why Choji wants to take Hajime and the entire Furin High for himself. Hajime just sighs on hearing this and claims that he should go see a therapist. Choji doesn't understand what he means, but then another surprising thing happens as Tagame and the rest of Lion's Head arrive there to take part in the fight. Tagame tells Choji that he needs to learn some patience because he didn't even hear the full details of the story before rushing to fight. The other students of Furin come and stand by Hajime, and Tagame greets Sakura, calling him a chessboard. He greets him by calling him a moffed, and as Hajime asks him to pipe it down, he tells him to shut up. Sakura says that he won't interfere with one-on-one fights, but won't tolerate people ganging up on anyone. Meanwhile, Choji tells his team to stay behind and not interrupt with his fight, but Tagame points out that the entire Furin High School is ready to throw hands anyway. Hajime notices it too, and he loudly orders everyone not to move from their place. He approaches the Lion's Head alone and tells Choji to send his guys back if he wants to fight him head-on. Choji accepts it, but his lackeys start poking fun at Hajime, saying that he must be a coward who wants to avoid an all-out fight. Kyotaro curses him, but his partner with the man bun recognizes him and the others. Sue joins the verbal war and mocks the man bun dude for talking like he is 5 years old. Tagame tells his side to quiet down and then asks Choji that even if he wants a one-on-one, he should do it another day because it is going to get dark soon. He says that if it gets too dark, they can't see the face of the enemy they pummel. He then taunts Sakura, asking if he agrees, but he simply asks him why he wants to see his ugly face anyway, and Tagame just smirks. Choji realizes that everyone has an individual battle they want to win, and he suggests to Hajime that they convert it into an all-out war. He says that it won't be a brawl, but rather a tournament where everyone gets to fight one-on-one. Choji is really excited about it, and even Tagame agrees. He begins naming the pairs, starting with Choji and Hajime, followed by him and Sakura. The funky hairdo guy wants Kyotaro, and the man bun wants to fight Suo. While Hajime doesn't like it, Sakura and others are excited to join the battle. Suddenly, a shy boy from Lion's Head comes forward and volunteers to face Hiragi. Hiragi knows the boy named Sako, and now he also wants to join the tournament. With that, the teams from both schools are decided. Later, all the first years and Sasaki visit Kotoha's cafe, and Nairi can only cry and scream about the trouble that his friends have caused. Kotoha comes to serve them their order and tells Nairi to stop worrying about everything. Nairi asks what if Hajime loses to Chage, but Kyotaro gives him a death stare even before he can complete his sentence. However, Nairi says that if they lose, Furin will fall under the control of Lion's Head. Kotoha assures him that it won't happen because their students are quite strong. Sakura finishes his food quickly and says that he should go home now, but Nairi says that Hajime and his group are not here yet. Sakura complains that they told them to wait, but they are sure taking their sweet time to come here. Sue explains that this restaurant has been a famous hangout for Boffurin members, and they always gather here before a fight. Suddenly, the door opens, and Hajime immediately starts simping over Kotoha. He praises her hairstyle and proudly shows off the veggies he is growing, but she gives him a dry response. Sue tells Sakura that Kotoha is Hajime's favorite, and he turns red as he asks if she is his girlfriend. Hiragi bursts out laughing on hearing this, and Kotoha immediately denies any allegations like that. Hajime says that she is his cute little sister, and Kotoha shoots that statement down too. After a moment of silence, she says that they grew up in the same orphanage, so Hajime thinks of her as a little sister. Sakura says that it doesn't seem like such a big deal then, and he asks her how old she is to be called Hajime's younger sister. She replies that she is just 16, and Sakura says that she looks like she is in her mid-20s. Kyotaro is shocked by his callous remarks, and then suddenly, he throws a stool at him. Sakura lashes out at him, but then finds that he only acted on behalf of Hajime, who is pissed that Sakura called Kotoha old. Hiragi also warns Sakura that since Hajime absolutely adores Kotoha, all hell will break loose if he finds that she is in danger. Hajime and Hiragi sit down to eat too, and Hiragi says that Lion's Head has really changed a lot in recent years. He claims that once they used to be a bunch of hot-headed guys aiming to become strong fighters, but they had a code of conduct. They never used to chase around middle schoolers over turf wars. Hiragi says that they had an all-out brawl one time, and it felt oddly good too. However, ever since Choji took charge, things have turned a bit nasty because he is forcefully picking fights everywhere. He thinks that Choji and Togen used to be different, and something definitely changed about them. Hajime says that they will find out about it when they talk tomorrow, and Sakura asks if they aren't going to fight. He replies that fighting is a way of communicating too, but it uses fists rather than words. With that, they gather outside the restaurant, and Hajime tells everyone to come to the fighting arena on time. Sasaki suddenly speaks up, thanks everyone for saving him, and hopes for them to win tomorrow. Everyone tells him that it won't be a problem, but Sakura gets embarrassed and says that he isn't fighting for him. Kotoha calls him an idiot and says that if he wants to look cool, he should just ask the boy to leave it to him. Sakura recalls that this is exactly what Hajime said, so he tries to imitate his words nervously. As he heads home after that, Sakura can only think that a fist is a language and a fight is a conversation. The next day, Hajime and the fighters reach the tracks and cross into Lion's Head territory. Sakura thinks that this is the first time he is fighting for something bigger than himself, and it fills him with a feeling that he won't lose to anyone. Choji and his team are ready to welcome them onto their turf, and the battle is just about to begin. Choji begins frolicking as he leads Hajime and his team to the place where they are supposed to fight. Everyone follows him, and Sakura looks around to find that this area is completely desolate compared to their district. On top of that, most shops in this area are bars and pubs. Nairi explains that this part is the drinking district and the main attraction of this city's nightlife. However, that makes Sakura ask him the very obvious question. He wants to know why a weakling like Nairi is following them, and he replies that he is involved in the fight since he was also at the scene. He claims that he is also a member of the Boffurin, and even if he can't beat other people up, he wants to be strong enough to protect himself. He requests Sakura and others to let him learn by watching them fight. Sakura is flabbergasted by his request and starts blushing, so Sue pokes some fun at him. The playful bickering of the first-year students gets on Hiragi's nerves, and he yells at them to be a little nervous before a fight. Hajime tells him to calm down, because he thinks that the rookies are quite promising. Choji keeps on pestering them to hurry up, and they soon cross a few alleys full of graffiti and arrive before Lion's Head base. Togame officially welcomes everyone to their headquarters, which looks as desolate and disorderly as the rest of their district. They walk inside and Nairi explains that the Lion's Head uses an abandoned movie theater as their base. Choji opens the door to the theater and reveals that all Lion's Head members are already on their seats, cheering for the upcoming fights. The rowdy bunch starts yelling to get the fight started, and some of them block the exit of the Furin students. Nairi almost wets his pants, wondering if he can really survive and go home from this place. Sakura simply tells him that if he is here to study fighting, he needs to keep his eyes to the front. Soon, Choji gets on the stage and announces that it is time to begin their one-on-one fight tournament. Everyone cheers him on, and even Hajime is impressed at his showmanship. He turns around and tells everyone that despite the tournament getting so grand, the main event is his fight with Choji. He tells his schoolmates that it doesn't matter if they win or lose, so they shouldn't take too much stress about it. No one is willing to accept his words, and Sakura simply tells Hajime to screw himself because even if the results don't count, he has no intention of losing. Even Kyotaro and Sue agree with him, and Hajime smiles, calling him a reliable junior. Choji is getting excited and asks Hajime to step out now, but Togain tells him that the captains should fight last to have the maximum impact. Suddenly, the guy with the fancy mullet gets up and volunteers to be the first act because Kyotaro is staring at him, and he is getting pissed because of that. Hajime has no problem sending him first, and both the boys head towards the stage. Sakura stops Kyotaro and tells him that they have yet to settle their fight from before, but if he loses to losers like them, he won't even consider him someone worth fighting. Kyotaro just scoffs at him and then heads to the arena. As the Lion's Head crowd chants the name of their fighter Arima, Nairi looks him up in his diary. He is shocked to learn that Arima is a heavy hitter who can break several ribs of his opponents with just one hit. Sue says that Kyotaro is the same, so they shouldn't be too worried, but Hajime doesn't agree. He says that it would be an insult to Kyotaro if they put him in the same category as Arima. In the arena, Arima mocks Kyotaro, saying that he really has got irritating eyes. He then suddenly turns towards the crowd and nervously begins asking Hajime if everything is alright. Kyotaro panics and looks to see if his idol is fine, and that gives Arima the chance to land a clean hit to his face. He tells him to stop looking away during a fight, but Kyotaro suddenly grabs his hand. Arima can't even free himself, and then Kyotaro furiously grabs his face and slams him onto the ground. After knocking down his opponent, he wipes off his cheek and tells him to put Sir before addressing Hajime. The first fight is over in an instant, and none of the Lion's Head students can believe it. Arima's partner is nervous now, and Togain seems burning with a silent rage, but Choji is happy. He claps for Kyotaro and says that he is quite strong. He happily approaches Kyotaro, asking his name, but Togain pulls him by his jacket and throws him back to his seat. Kyotaro climbs down from the stage and Hajime stands up to greet him. He says that he is as tough as always and pats his cheek while laughing. Kyotaro is happy to receive the compliment, while Nairi is amazed that he is not fazed in the least by the powerful punch he took. Sakura says that it is barely a surprise, considering that he has fought him once. Sue and Nairi start teasing him that he has finally accepted Kyotaro as a friend, and while Sakura quarrels with them, Hajime just watches them. Suddenly, his gaze goes to Togain, who seems to be somewhere else mentally. Choji then says it is time for the second fight, but before that, he asks two students to get rid of Arima's body from the stage. They find him too heavy to drag, so they just roll him down the stage and then begin kicking him for being a useless weakling. Nairi is horrified by their shamelessness, but the boys just laugh on their way back to their seats. Sakura tells them to stop yapping near his seat, provoking them without apparent reason. He asks them to never say they are devotees of power again, because he gets second-hand embarrassment by watching wimps like them act big. The boys angrily approach him, but Sue tells him that idiots like them don't understand unless they taste defeat first. The second boy grabs his collar and asks him to make him understand. Suddenly, Choji speaks up and tells the boy that he is not Sue's opponent. He gives him a cold, murderous gaze and tells him to stand back, and both the boys nervously head back. Choji returns to his carefree, playful self with that and asks who is going next. Sakura is about to get up, but Sue tells him not to be stupid as it is his turn to fight the man-bun bastard named Kanema, who appears quite nervous. He gets up and slouches towards the stage with his friends cheering him, while Sue also gets up from his seat. He tells Sakura that when he came to Furin and declared that he would take the top spot, he thought he was stupid. Sakura is furious and asks him if he is picking a fight, but Sue just laughs. He says that he can finally see that his words and actions have a spine, which makes him an awesome person. He tells Sakura that he is going to work his hardest to make sure to keep up with him, and gets him blushing. Both the fighters climb on the stage and Nairi starts searching for info on the guy named Kanuma. Sakura, on the other hand, is more interested in Sue. Nairi says that ever since middle school, Sue was reputed to be a strong fighter. Sakura says that he can tell that much just by looking at him, and he needs some extra information. However, Nairi has no specific stories about Sue or even his fight records. Sakura is surprised, but even Hiragi and Hajime don't know very much about Sue either, but they know that he is a gentleman. On the stage, Kanuma is chewing his nails, while cursing Kyotaro for defeating Arima. Sue taunts him that he finally seems to care about his friends, as opposed to the day when they first met. Kanuma tells him that Arima was his childhood friend who protected him from bullies, so obviously he is furious that he lost. Sue just laughs at him, saying that since he can only feel things when he is the victim, he is like a toddler. He mocks Kanuma, baby-talking him, asking if it was too tough for him. Sakura takes one look at Sue's face, and immediately disqualifies him as a gentleman. Kanuma is furious and rushes towards Sue to punch him, but he blocks his fist, slightly manipulates his moment and pushes him away. Everyone is surprised because they never thought that Sue would actually be a martial arts master, but he is unfazed by it and continues taunting his opponent. Nairi couldn't even grasp what just happened, and neither does Kanuma. He thinks that he just needs to punch him faster than he can react. But this time too, Sue deflects his attack and slams him to the ground. Kanuma is furious now and goes after his legs, but Sue moves them skillfully and flings him away yet again. He is completely embarrassed now, but charges towards Sue again, who makes it appear that he is dancing and his opponent is tripping by themselves. The mood of the crowd suddenly turns sour, and everyone starts cursing Kanuma, asking him to take it seriously. He is on his knees and thinks that everyone watching from a distance can run their mouths because they don't know what he is dealing with. He has tried everything, but Sue keeps on dodging and using his attacks against him. Hajime laughs, saying that Sue wasn't just an ordinary gentleman after all, but Sakura says that he isn't gentle in any aspect. He thinks that Sue has a crappy personality because he is purposefully toying with an opponent far weaker than him. On the stage, Kanuma attacks him again, but Sue dodges his attack and then pushes him to the ground. He gets up for another attack, only to be slammed to the ground again. Sue keeps embarrassing the guy, while Sakura thinks that if he was in the weakling's place, he would want to die of shame. Immediately after that, he wonders how he can get Sue to spar seriously with him, and Nairi can't understand why he would want that. On the stage, Kanuma has lost his stamina, but he is still relentlessly attacking Sue, who keeps on dodging his attacks. He finally decides to get offensive and begins putting more strength in slamming him down and twists his hand, before landing some swift but accurate blows to him. He throws Kanuma all over the stage until he is ready to give up hope. Everyone is still cursing him, and Choji has fallen asleep because he was too bored. This devastates Kanuma, and he fears that if he can't do anything, he will be outcast and treated like a weakling. He begins screaming that he won't let it happen and gets up. He charges towards Sue, only to get kicked in the face by him. Sue teases him even more, saying that he must be imagining himself in the position of the weaklings he used to ridicule. He begins walking backwards and falls to the ground. Kanuma is already terrified enough, and then Sue says that he will make his imagination a reality now. He gets ready to throw a punch, but Togame asks him to stop because the fight is already over. He tells Sue to back down and asks Kanuma to not embarrass them any further. However, he immediately changes his statement, saying that Kanuma can't embarrass them because he is no longer one of them. Sue simply walks past the defeated boy and tells him that after learning what it is to be weak, he should have gotten the ability to empathize with others, and that will help him grow up. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for part 5, and make sure to check out this brand new anime about